This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Mosaic, a daily news program from Link TV, presents a selection of news reports from independent and state-controlled broadcasters from throughout the Middle East.
The Kuwaiti Foreign Minister, Al-Sheikh Mohammed Al-Salam Al-Suba, is on a historic visit to Baghdad. This visit is the first of its kind since 1990. He declared that the two countries are working on developing their relationship that has been plagued with unresolved issues, especially the issues of debt and compensation.
للمرة الأولى منذ أكثر من عقدين تسجل زيارة رسمية لمسؤول كويتي.
For the first time in 2 decades, a Kuwaiti leader is visiting Iraq. Al-Sheikh Mohammed Salam Al-Suba, the Vice President and Foreign Minister of Kuwait, is visiting the government of Baghdad. Some sources describe the visit as historical, especially after the very intense relationship they had for 18 years due to Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait in 1990.
بعد الغزو العراقي للكويت إبان نظام صدام حسين عام 1990.
The Kuwaiti Foreign Minister Al-Suba and Iraqi Prime Minister Noor al-Maliki had many talks during the visit. The Iraqi Foreign Minister Hoshyar Zabari declared that the two countries have a list of unsettled issues between them. The first issue is to share the oil from the fields that lie on the Iraqi-Kuwaiti border. The second is drawing the sea borders, as well as paying Kuwait billions of dollars in compensation.
وترسيم الحدود البحرية دفع تعويضات مالية تقدر بمليارات الدولارات تطالب بها الكويت.
Kuwait has declared that they received more than $13 billion in compensation for the damage that Iraq created with the invasion and occupation of Kuwait. The UN Security Council forced Iraq to allocate 5% of its oil revenues to a fund at the UN to compensate Kuwait for losses at the time of the invasion.
لصندوق تابع للأمم المتحدة للتعويض عن اجتياح الكويت. وتأتي زيارة المسؤول الكويتي عشية احتفال.
The visit of the Kuwaiti leader came on the night of a celebration that was hosted by the Kuwaiti embassy in Iraq. They celebrated the 18th anniversary of the liberation of Kuwait from the invading army. This celebration is the first of its kind in Iraq.
وقال الزباري الذي حضر الاحتفال إن إقامته.
Al-Zabari, who attended the celebration, said that this celebration foreshadows a new era for the relationship between the two countries after 2 decades of a very intense and complicated relationship. Hadil El-Rubayi, Al-Arabiya.
بمناسبة مرور 2 على فرض الخطة الأمنية نظم في العاصمة.
A festive parade was held in the Iraqi capital of Baghdad to commemorate the 2nd anniversary of the security plan. The parade was attended by military and civilian figures, as well as Iraqi officials who have been in charge of the security plan. The parade was devoted to present the security gains that have been achieved through the security plan, which provided security in Baghdad and nearby areas.
A number of military commanders attended the parade that was held to commemorate the 2nd anniversary of enforcing the rule of law security plan in Baghdad. The plan has changed the situation on the ground and made people look for a future without violence, especially after this security plan is fully implemented.
The achievements that were made by the security plan are more than just security gains. The plan also united the Iraqi society and provided a stable environment for reconstruction and development. The security plan also spared the country from the ghost of civil or sectarian wars in Baghdad. It was the key to establishing security in Iraq.
Enforcing the rule of law security plan has increased security in Baghdad and its suburbs by 90%. The number of armed attacks and the killing of civilians have decreased throughout the capital. Also, the phenomenon of unidentified bodies has stopped.
Enforcing the rule of law security plan enabled us to decrease terrorist attacks by 90%. I think this is a great and important achievement. We also counter the enemy's methods, such as explosive devices, and we decrease sectarian crimes. In the past, we used to find 50 to 150 unidentified bodies on a daily basis, and this was documented. Today, the phenomenon of unidentified bodies has disappeared.
The improvement in the security situation was reflected in the lives of Iraqis. Citizens expressed satisfaction towards the way the security plan is being implemented, and they hope that security will continue to increase so the reconstruction can be resumed at a faster pace and so that the living conditions can be improved.
There were many gains from the security plan. The plan provided us with security and enabled shops to be opened. Honestly, before the plan, people did not go out.
The situation is very good. People can go out, students can go to school, people have stability, markets have opened, and life has returned to the way it used to be. The security situation has improved a great deal.
The security plan, which was implemented in all of Iraq, has security and military objectives. Those who are in charge of this plan commemorate its second anniversary while reiterating that it is the reason behind the security. Meanwhile, they are trying to eliminate the remaining pockets of armed and illegal groups. Haidar Qasim, Al-Alam, Baghdad.
Palestinians declared a day of outrage in solidarity with Silwan, hoping to bring attention to the eviction of Palestinians from Jerusalem. Hundreds of Arab Jerusalemites held a demonstration despite strict Israeli security measures to protest Israel's decision to evict 88 Palestinian families from the Al Bustan neighborhood in the town of Silwan. They were all notified that their homes will be demolished under the pretext that they were built without Israeli permits. This is the largest Israeli mass eviction since 1967. If Israel goes ahead and implements its decision, more than 1,500 Jerusalemites will end up being homeless, and their Jerusalem residency status will be taken away. Joining us from occupied Jerusalem is our reporter Mohammed al-Saeed. This Friday, people held a demonstration in solidarity with the residents of Silwan. What are the latest updates? Were there clashes between the worshippers and the Israeli soldiers?
As you see behind me, thousands of Palestinians in Jerusalem, and specifically in Silwan, completed their Friday prayers a short time ago. So far, they have not left the area. Therefore, it's hard to say whether they will clash with the Israeli police. On our way to this area, we saw hundreds of Israeli police cars in the area. All the entrances that lead to the Holy Al-Aqsa Mosque were completely closed. The lives of the Palestinians have become very difficult due to the intensive security measures and perimeters that were established around the city. The prayers ended a while ago, as I said before. The people have not moved towards the Aqsa Mosque or to other areas. I think that if the Israeli police were to disperse the protesters, there would be clashes that would erupt between them. There are thousands of police officers. They can be seen on every corner.
Mohammed, can the 88 families who received eviction notices do anything to stop the Israeli decision to demolish their homes?
I do not think so. In the past, a similar thing happened, but not to this extent. Palestinians held a demonstration in Jabal Abu Ghnem and established tents for a sit-in. This went on for months, but at the end, Israel went along with its decision and built settlements on this mountain between Bethlehem and occupied Jerusalem. The Palestinians are being overpowered. The only thing they can do is to hold these demonstrations and erect these tents. They hope to send a message to the world that this land is Palestinian land, hoping that the world will support them. However, I do not think that this will solve the problem. The current Israeli government claims that the negotiations with the Palestinians will lead to a political settlement, where the Arab neighborhoods in Jerusalem will be handed over to the Palestinian Authority. However, on the ground, Israel is Judifying this densely populated area and confiscating the land.
Thank you, Mohammed al-Saeed, who joined us from occupied Jerusalem. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Javier Solana, arrived in Gaza for the first time since Hamas took control of it. Solana inspected the afflicted areas that were hit by the latest Israeli aggression. During the visit, Solana met with several leaders from civic institutions. He did not meet with Hamas's leaders during his visit.
وممثلو حركتي حماس وفتح الذين شاركوا في الحوار الوطني الموسع أمس.
Representatives from Fatah and Hamas who participated in the national dialogue left Cairo after agreeing on how to reestablish Palestinian unity. Delegations from 13 Palestinian factions sat side by side, and after a long day of talks, they agreed to reestablish a national unity government before the end of March. They also agreed to form 5 committees that will be assigned with the task of forming the government, establishing security agencies, developing and reactivating the PLO, carrying out the elections before the legal deadline, finding ways to support the national reconciliation efforts, strengthening tolerance, and avoiding internal fighting. These committees will start working on their tasks on March 10th, and they're supposed to finish their work by the end of the month.
Palestinians fired a Qassam towards Israel this morning, hitting an open area in the Sdot Negev region. No one was wounded and no damage was caused. A number of Sderot residents were treated for shock following yesterday's Qassam attack, in which tragedy was narrowly averted when a rocket landed close to 2 houses. In response, IAF aircraft hit smuggling tunnels in the southern Gaza Strip. Ofer Dekel, the Prime Minister's envoy in negotiations for the release of captured IDF soldier Gilad Shalit, returned home from Cairo today after consulting with Egyptian leaders. Diplomatic sources in Jerusalem say that Hamas has not yet responded to the revised list of prisoners that Dekel presented to Egypt. Israel has increased the number of prisoners it is willing to release in exchange for Shalit, but has not agreed to free some of the most deadly of the terrorists on the Hamas list. At the same time, the sources say Israel intends speeding up the negotiations in order to conclude a deal on Gilad Shalit's release before Israel's next government is sworn in. Syria was upbeat after holding its first high-level talks with the United States since President Barack Obama took office, describing the meeting as very constructive. Secretary of State Clinton said she hopes the new dialogue of respect with Syria will lead to peace and stability in the region.
It is too soon to say what the future holds. Obviously, we are working very hard, as is our special envoy, George Mitchell, to engage with not only the Israelis and the Palestinians, but all of the neighbors in the region and beyond.
Rival Palestinian groups Fatah and Hamas have agreed to work together to set up a unity government. The announcement came at the end of Egyptian-brokered reconciliation talks in Cairo, aimed at ending the long-running feud between the 2 Palestinian factions. Former PA Prime Minister Ahmed Correa hailed the agreement as historic. The 2 sides approved creation of 5 joint committees, including one whose job will be to form a national unity government. The agreement comes ahead of next week's donor conference in Egypt. The international community stressed that it would donate nearly $3 billion towards the rebuilding of Gaza only after Hamas and Fatah ended their estrangement. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Javier Solana said he was hopeful the Hamas-Fatah agreement would succeed this time where previous efforts have failed. The EU diplomat was in Cairo ahead of next week's international donor conference.
We have a very important opportunity. The meeting that will take place in Monday in Sharm el-Sheikh will be an important moment, not only to generate momentum economically for the reconstruction of Gaza, but also the first time that the meeting of that nature takes place after important events in Gaza, events in the world. So it will be a moment also to make a clear political statement.
Earlier in the day, Solana made a stop in the Gaza Strip, his first visit there since Hamas seized power in June 2007. The EU chief was not scheduled to meet with representatives from the terror organization. Speaking at the destroyed American International School, Solana expressed solidarity with the Palestinian people and pledged to help them with the reconstruction of Gaza. His tour of Gaza comes following a series of visits by high-profile foreign dignitaries after Operation Cast Lead, including U.S. Senator John Kerry.
A number of Palestinian refugees who arrived in Santiago, the capital of Chile, were able to begin a new life as part of the diaspora. 116 refugees coming from the Al Tanaf refugee camp on the Iraqi-Syrian border arrived less than a year ago. The refugees spent 2 years in the refugee camp while they were trying to escape the ghosts of death and oppression in Iraq after it was occupied. The Palestinian population in Chile provides them with financial and emotional support to help them overcome the hardships of adjusting to a new society. Dima Al-Khatib will now inform us about some aspects of their lives.
Mejda Al-Hamidi has never heard of a country called Chile. She now works at a beauty salon in Santiago, the southernmost point of the earth.
At least we can live in an apartment and we have a door that we can close. This is so much better than living in a tent. The hardest part is living as part of the diaspora.
The hardships of this diaspora are lessened due to the presence of a large Palestinian population. Carolina is an Arab woman and her parents are from Palestine. She speaks just enough Arabic to understand Majida, who is still trying to learn Spanish. Majida attracts the attention of customers because she is the first veiled woman who works in a beauty salon.
I felt very close to Majida right when I met her. She is like me, divorced and a single mother. I told her I will take care of her.
The refugees live in small apartments with their family members, and they receive small pensions from the UN. The elderly whom were born in Palestine, such as Majida's parents, find it hard to learn Spanish and adjust to a new society. The refugees interact religiously and culturally with other Muslims in the only mosque in Santiago. The Palestinian population that supports them in Chile is all Christian, for there are only 3,000 Muslims. Adjusting to the new society of Chile is not easy for the Palestinian refugees. Some of the refugees are dealing with hardship in order to achieve one goal, which is to gain their Chilean citizenship, which will enable them to go back to an Arab country that has a cultural and religious environment that they lack here. Others are succeeding in their small businesses, which makes them want to live here forever.
The people in Chile are very, very nice. They really like Arabs. The three guys and I, Omar and Abdurrahman, opened this small Arabic sweet store.
The dream of the three guys was realized due to the investment of the Palestinian population who maintained their presence in Chile generation after generation. Will these refugees follow in their footsteps? Dima Al-Khatib, Al Jazeera, Santiago, Chile.
وصلت إلى قطاع غزة اليوم لجنتان تابعتان لجامعة الدول العربية.
2 committees from the Arab League arrived in the Gaza Strip to inspect the facts on the ground. One committee specialized in law and the other with the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. The 2 committees held a meeting in order to outline their tasks in the Gaza Strip. The meeting took place at the Arab League headquarters, which was headed by Secretary General Amir Moussa.
الدكتور علي خشان وزير العدل في تصريح لتلفزيون فلسطين أن لجنة خبراء قانونيين مكلفين من جامعة الدول.
The Minister of Justice, Dr. Ali Khashan, announced to Palestine TV that a committee of experts in law assigned by the Arab League will arrive in Gaza to inspect the war crimes committed by Israel.
هذا الوفد يأتي من الخبراء الأجانب المحايدين بعيدا عن أي خبراء عرب يرافقهم مجموعة من
The delegation consists of foreign experts who are neutral. They will be accompanied with a group from the Arab League, including the legal advisor for the Arab League, who I was just on the phone with. The delegation is headed to the Gaza Strip. They are now at the border crossing, and they will enter the Gaza Strip this afternoon.
Minister Khashan added that some media channels accused the Palestinian Authority of procrastinating with their approach to international courts to prosecute the occupying military for the massacres they committed against the Palestinian people. Khashan considers the accusation and attack on the Palestinian Authority to be unjustifiable.
لم نرد في البداية أن نرد عليه لفترة ولكننا اضطررنا في نهاية المطاف.
We did not want to respond to these accusations at the beginning, but in the end we were forced to put everything in place. Everyone knows that these accusations are not accurate.
استعانت بأشخاص لا يملكون شهادات وأظهرتهم على التلفزيونات ومنهم صراحة قناة الجزيرة التي
Some satellite channels used figures that do not even have a degree and broadcasted them on TV, such as Al Jazeera, who knowingly used to broadcast certain people who claimed that they were professors in law and they did not even have a degree. It seems like they have planned this campaign. Whether it was on purpose or by accident, the attack on the Palestinian Authority is not justified.
Medical sources said that 4 civilians were killed when a tunnel collapsed at the Rafah crossing in southern Gaza. The corpses were transferred to the Abu Yusuf al-Najjar hospital in Rafah. Eyewitnesses mentioned that the 4 civilians worked as smugglers in the tunnels.
وفي هذه الأثناء وصل وفد من جامعة الدول العربية اليوم إلى قطاع غزة للوقوف على
A delegation from the Arab League arrived in Gaza to see firsthand the crimes that were committed by the Zionist enemy during the war on Gaza. The Arab League Secretary General announced that he will send 2 committees to Gaza. One committee is a legal one, and it will study the enemy's crimes. The second one will study plans for reconstruction and find ways to coordinate Arab efforts in Gaza.
The results of the war in Gaza are still unfolding at the political and economic levels. The Arab League delegation arrived in Gaza by way of the Rafah crossing after the Arab League Secretary General Amir Moussa assigned a mission to study the effects of the Zionist war on Gaza at the legal and humanitarian levels.
This is a high-level committee that includes international experts known for their credibility and professionalism. This committee will submit an independent report. The Secretary General assigned a prominent academic to the mission, Professor John Dogar, because he's familiar with human rights and international law.
The delegation includes international legal experts headed by Professor John Dogar, who previously worked with the UN. He is an expert in international law and war crimes. The delegation also includes a number of other experts in legal issues.
He and the delegation will visit all of the locations where war crimes were committed or where war crimes are believed to have been committed against Palestinian civilians in Gaza.
The legal committee will meet with families of the victims and eyewitnesses as well as representatives from civic institutions. Then the committee will submit its comprehensive report to the Arab League Secretary General on the 28th of February.
We think we should wait for the results of this report, or else we will be jumping to conclusions. We will conduct the investigation in a serious and objective manner, and then we will submit our report to the Arab Secretary General. Only then can we announce the results that we have reached during the trip in a comprehensive manner.
اللجان التخصصية الأخرى هي لجان هندسية وفنية معنية بالدرجة الأولى.
The other committees that were sent by the Arab League have technical expertise and also specialize in engineering. They are primarily concerned with reporting on the reconstruction plans for what was destroyed during the Zionist war on Gaza. Arab and international delegates are going back and forth to Gaza. Residents here hope that the delegates will reach a just solution, at least pertaining to the reconstruction of what was destroyed during the war. People here have been waiting for the reconstruction for a long time. Bassam al-Bata, Al-Aqsa Channel, Gaza.
Barack Obama announced his plan to withdraw most U.S. troops from Iraq by August 2010. Can a withdrawal plan point to an end to the war while leaving behind a garrison of up to 50,000 troops in a hostile land? Did the president break his promise? And what do Iraqis think? Answers to these questions and more on Link TV's Mosaic Intelligence Report.
By August 31st, 2010, our combat mission in Iraq will end.
President Barack Obama has announced his plan to withdraw most U.S. troops from Iraq by August 2010. The move will reduce troop levels from the current 142,000 to some 35,000 to 50,000 by that time. During his campaign for the White House, then candidate Obama had said he would completely pull out troops within 16 months of taking the top job.
That's why I have a plan that will bring our combat troops home by March of 2008.
Did the president break his election vow? Can a withdrawal plan point to an end to the war while leaving behind a garrison of up to 50,000 troops in a hostile land? These are just some of the questions being posed by critics to the newly announced plan for withdrawal from Iraq. Barack Obama had wanted a 16-month timetable for the partial withdrawal. General David Petraeus wanted 23 months. So with the Solomonic wisdom, they have now split the difference and will withdraw a portion of the American troops in 18 months instead. Meanwhile, for the past 2 years, Iraq has witnessed a flurry of high-level diplomatic visitors from neighboring countries such as Iran, Jordan, and Syria to bolster the country's newfound credibility as a sovereign state. Just a day ago, Kuwait's foreign minister met Iraqi officials in Baghdad in the highest-level Kuwaiti visit to Iraq since Saddam Hussein's forces invaded its neighbor in 1990. The Iraqi official channel, Al-Arabiya, has been airing reports of improvements in the country on several levels. The desired message, Iraq is safe and life has returned to normal. The Iraqi government has even purchased airtime on Al-Arabiya channel to reach to a wider audience, mainly Iraqi refugees living in Jordan, Syria, and other Arab countries, with a similar message. Iraq is on the mend and is ready to be a sovereign state. However, many believe that the country is not ready. Satellite television networks financed by Sunni and opposition groups have been showing a totally different picture. The country lacks security and other basic necessities. Meanwhile, several Arab commentators have accused Obama of reneging on the agreement signed between the United States and the supposedly sovereign Iraqi government, guaranteeing the complete withdrawal of all American troops by the end of 2011. One reporter called President Obama's change of direction the Withdrawal-lite plan. But the president had a special message to the Iraqi people.
So to the Iraqi people, let me be clear about America's intentions. The United States pursues no claim on your territory or your resources. We respect your sovereignty and the tremendous sacrifices you have made for your country. We seek a full transition to Iraqi responsibility for the security of your country.
Here is an early sampling of what Iraqis think about the president's statement.
In the present time, the Iraqi army is in better spirits and forces, and we wish that the American president is honest in pulling out the U.S. forces in 2010.
I support the precise tactical pullout when our forces are active and able to protect our territories. And they are still incomplete because we don't have an air force and completely armed military vehicles.
I'm Jamal Dajani for the Mosaic Intelligence Report. To learn more about this program or to share your thoughts, visit us at linktv.org/mir. You can also visit my blog on the Huffington Post.
Get more news about the Middle East online at linktv.org/Mosaic. The Mosaic webpage offers a complete archive of Mosaic programs, program transcripts, the Mosaic video podcast, and the Mosaic Intelligence Report, a weekly analysis of the hottest stories from the Middle East. The views expressed on Mosaic are those of the participating broadcasters, not Link TV or its sponsors. The production of Mosaic is made possible with the support of viewers like you. Thank you. This program was brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only U.S. television network devoted to global and national news, with uncompromising documentaries and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world.